Dear Reddit, I am a man in my 35th year. She is 32 years old, my wife. She is such a stunning and attractive woman. Everyone is enthralled with her effortless grace. Her flawless sense of style and exquisite taste in clothing are complemented by her inner beauty. Now that we have been married for 3 years, I still consider myself extremely fortunate to have her in my life. Her ease and assurance in every circumstance speak for itself, and her elegance beyond her outward look. She manages to leave a lasting impression on everyone she meets, and I am always in awe of that. We were high school sweethearts, and everyone who knew us thought we were meant to be together forever. We had a lovely house, 2 beautiful children ages 10 and 12, a wonderful dog and a seemingly perfect life. But as time went on, cracks began to appear in our seemingly perfect facade. The constant demands of work and parenting took a toll on our relationship, and we started drifting apart. Despite our best efforts, we couldn't ignore the growing distance between us. But deep down I always believed that there was love and mutual respect between us after all the ups and downs we had been through. As the parental demands kept on increasing, we were less and less available for each other. My wife started having long and unreasonable work hours, often coming home late at night or not coming home at all. This put a strain on our relationship as we hardly had any quality time together and made it difficult to communicate on a deeper level. Most often than not, I was left with taking care of my boys' needs by me, and it no longer felt like a team effort. I had to juggle their school schedules, extracurricular activities, and everyday tasks all on my own. The burden of responsibility weighed heavily on me, and I yearned for the support and shared responsibilities that a team effort brings. Never in my wildest dream had I imagined that my beautiful wife would do something unfathomable. I did not see it coming at all. It is hard to believe that a mundane act of taking the garbage out could lead to such a life-changing decision, but it did. One evening, as I walked towards the garbage cans, a wave of introspection washed over me. It was as if the routine task had triggered a deep reflection on my true desires and happiness. Despite the external picture-perfect life we had, I couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something missing, something unfulfilled within me. As I was tossing in the last bag, I noticed something strange. There was a wrapper that had caught my eye. It was something I had never seen before. At that moment, my heart sank, and I knew that my suspicions were right. The wrapper had an unfamiliar logo and a peculiar design. Its vibrant colors and intricate patterns seemed out of place among the usual packaging. As I examined it closer, a sense of unease washed over me, as if this discovery held a deeper meaning that I was yet to uncover. It was a used condom which did not belong to me. This is not something that I used, and also it had been too long since I had sex with my wife. My wife was cheating on me. I could feel it in my gut. The weight of the realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I returned to the house in a daze, my mind racing. How could she do this to me? I loved her more than anything in the world, and this was how she repaid me? It was unfathomable. Despite my initial shock, I tried to convince myself that I was overreacting. Maybe there was a logical explanation for the protective wrapper in the bin. Maybe she had a medical issue that I didn't know about. But deep down, I knew the truth. The evidence was too overwhelming to ignore. The texts on her phone, the late nights at work, and now this mysterious wrapper, it all pointed to one thing: betrayal. My heart sank as I realized that our relationship would never be the same again. I tried to put it out of my head and go about our daily life as normal. I went to work, I played with my children, and I acted as though everything was fine. But the more I thought about it, the more convinced I became that she was unfaithful. I started looking for signs, and they were all around me. The way she acted, the way she dressed, the way she talked, all of it seemed to point towards her being unfaithful. I could no longer ignore my intuition. I decided to confront her about my suspicions, hoping for an honest conversation that would put my mind at ease. However, deep down, I knew that regardless of the outcome, our relationship would never be the same again. So I confronted her. I told her what I had seen in the bin and asked her to explain it to me. At first, she was defensive, insisting that there was a logical explanation. But as I pressed her, her story started to unravel. She admitted that she had been having an affair for almost a year with the new employee at work. My world shattered around me as she confessed the painful truth. The trust one had placed in her was shattered, leaving me feeling betrayed and heartbroken. Everything I thought I knew about our relationship suddenly felt like a lie. I always had doubts about the new guy in her office. How she always mentioned that he was young and handsome. I couldn't help but wonder if her constant mention of his youth and attractiveness meant there was something more than just professional admiration. It made me question her intentions and whether she was developing a personal interest in him. She always denied stating that he was just a colleague. However, many people suspected that there was more to their relationship than she let on. Some even claimed to have seen them together outside of work hours, fueling the speculation further. During our confrontation, she told me that I was the only guy she had ever been with. She never knew any other way of being loved apart from the way I did. This new guy tried to take interest in her, which she ignored initially. As days went by, she could not help but start feeling attracted towards him. She liked the way he looked at her and the way he complimented her. One day, when their hands brushed, it sent a shiver down her spine. She found herself eagerly anticipating their interactions, cherishing every moment they spent together. The subtle physical connection they shared only deepened her growing infatuation, leaving her yearning for more intimate moments with him. She did not feel this way ever in her life, and without a thought wanted to experience this feeling more and more. She yearned to delve deeper into this newfound emotion, craving its intoxicating presence in every aspect of her existence. The allure of this sensation was irresistible, urging her to seek out new experiences that would intensify and prolong this euphoria. She said that he made love to her in a way that she had never experienced before. It was an intimate encounter that left her feeling both exhilarated and deeply connected to him. The passion and tenderness he brought to their lovemaking awakened a new level of pleasure within her, making her crave more of his touch and presence. Listening to her talk about it was making me both sick and furious. How could she so shamelessly describe her lust in such a tasteful manner? It was appalling to witness her lack of remorse as she indulged in graphic details, disregarding any sense of decency. Her audacity to glorify her immoral desires only intensified my feelings of disgust and anger. I realized that I could never trust her again. I loved her, but I couldn't forgive her for what she had done to me. I couldn't live with the constant suspicion and doubt that would always be there. Despite my love for her, I made the difficult decision to end our relationship. It was a painful choice, but I knew it was necessary even though it seemed like an impossible task at the time. Ending our relationship was the only way I could regain my peace of mind and protect my own emotional well-being. It took immense strength to walk away from someone I still loved, but I knew that staying would only prolong my suffering and prevent me from moving forward in life. I asked her to move out of my house at that instant. I did not even want to look at her face. She told me that she got carried away and would not want to ruin our relationship. I forced her out of our room into the hallway and asked her to leave. She said that she cannot live without the kids, but it was too late for that. If she cared so much about them, she would not have taken such decisions. I sternly reminded her that her actions had consequences and that she should have thought about the kids before making such a reckless choice. As I closed the door behind her, I couldn't help but feel a mix of anger and sadness, realizing that our relationship had reached an irreparable point. The next day, I filed for divorce. It was a painful and arduous process, but I knew that it was the only way forward. I hired a lawyer who made sure that she neither gets any alimony nor the custody of my kids due to her cheating behavior. My lawyer suggested that I appeal in court that a woman who did not think about the well-being of her kids and hid her affair for almost a year did not deserve the custody of kids. He also asked me to present any evidence that I had collected of her infidelity and emphasize how her actions had negatively impacted our children's emotional well-being. I wanted her to realize that she made a huge mistake by taking things for granted. How much ever she tried, I would try with all my means to keep her away from my house and also my kids. The next day, I called all of our mutual friends and let them know that I had left my wife as she was cheating and would expect them to stay by my side. I also drove to her office during lunchtime to go meet her. I then announced in front of all her colleagues that we separated and she can now officially date this guy. I also questioned their boss about the company policy of office romance and what are the rules that apply to people who have affairs. I learned that after a week both my wife and her boyfriend were fired from their respective jobs due to the policies against office romance. The news of their termination caused quite a stir in the office, with rumors and gossip spreading like wildfire. However, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that the consequences of their actions had caught up with them. It was a harsh lesson for both my wife and her boyfriend, serving as a reminder that actions have consequences, not only in personal but also in professional settings. It was sad to see the life we had built together falling apart, but I knew that it was for the best. Looking back, I realized that finding that protective wrapper in the bin was a blessing in disguise. It exposed the truth about my wife's infidelity and allowed me to finally confront the painful reality of our crumbling relationship. The discovery of her betrayal shattered my trust, but it also gave me the strength to start rebuilding my life and finding happiness again. It was a painful experience, but it taught me a lot about myself and what I'm willing to accept in a relationship. I learned the importance of trust and communication, and now I prioritize these qualities in any future relationships. Now, I'm in a much better place. I'm single, but I'm not alone. I have a great support system in my friends and family. I'm much happier than I was in my marriage. I try to spend as much time as I can with my kids. Since the end of my marriage, I have found a newfound sense of happiness and contentment. It has allowed me to prioritize spending quality time with my children, cherishing every moment we have together. I have come to realize that sometimes the end of one chapter is just the beginning of another, and this new chapter in my life is just beginning. In conclusion, if I were to give any advice to someone going through a similar situation, it would be this: trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Don't ignore the signs. It's important to listen to your gut feelings and acknowledge any red flags that may arise. Trusting your instincts can help you make informed decisions and protect yourself from potential harm or disappointment. Remember, your intuition is a powerful tool that shouldn't be underestimated. Last, but most importantly, don't settle for less than you deserve. Life is too short to be unhappy. We all deserve to be loved and respected. Comments *. 1. U/Reddit user 1*. This is what happens when a man is busy with providing for the family. The woman decides that she is not getting enough love and tries to seek love outside of marriage. She does not even think of the hard work this man has put to bring food to the table and for all the comforts she was enjoying. She starts feeling neglected and unappreciated. She may begin to question the stability of their relationship and wonder if she is still valued by her partner. This can lead her to seek emotional fulfillment elsewhere, as she longs for the affection and attention she feels is lacking in her marriage. She tries to find a new man who can act at her whims and wishes. Once she finds such a man, she leaves her old relationship for this new ignited love. 2. U/Reddit user 2*. I think you did the right thing by teaching her a lesson. Well deserved. People who take advantage of your trust should be taught a lesson. It's important to set boundaries and ensure that others understand the consequences of their actions. By teaching her a lesson, you are not only protecting yourself, but also sending a message that trust should never be taken for granted. It's crucial to maintain healthy relationships built on mutual respect and honesty. I wonder if she will find another igniting man and then move on to him after she is done with this one. 3. U/Reddit user 3*. I believe that love makes you lose your senses and do things that are out of your normal character. It has the power to cloud your judgment and make you act impulsively, sometimes without considering the consequences. Love can be both exhilarating and overwhelming, pushing you to take risks and step outside of your comfort zone. Since she was only with one person her entire life, she was unaware of what true love is. She longed to experience the exhilaration and depth of emotions that come with being in a passionate and fulfilling relationship. The absence of varied experiences left her yearning for a connection that would ignite her soul and show her the true essence of love. Update. The next few months were the most difficult of my life. I was a single father, trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered existence, while also trying to be there for my children. It was a tough balancing act, but I made it work. I was also finding out ways of how I could punish my wife for the betrayal that she had induced in my life. I had made sure that my wife was staying away from my kids. I did not let her talk to them or meet them. My kids were mature enough to understand what was going on and fully cooperated with my decision. They did not want to talk to her as well. They were as upset with her as I was. They could not believe that their mother could do something like this. Her new boyfriend that she had been cheating on has deserted her when she told him that she won't be getting any alimony but would like to appeal for custody of the kids. He was expecting her to get a hefty alimony with which he could start his own business. He blamed her for not being careful and getting caught by me. This is what karma looks like. He believed that she deserved to suffer the consequences of her actions and felt betrayed by her lack of financial support. As I watched their relationship crumble, it became clear that her deceitful behavior had finally caught up with her, serving as a lesson in the workings of karma. In the end, she is the one left with no one by her side. This is all due to her actions, and she is paying the price for it. She neither has a loving husband nor kids that she can lean on. Loneliness has become her constant companion, as she struggles to find solace in the absence of a support system. Her choices and behavior have isolated her, leaving her yearning for the warmth and comfort of a family that could have been hers.